body against a brick wall. All you did was throw a scarf against a brick wall. There's nothing, no magic there. The power is what's not there. That this is a symbol for mankind to realize that there is nothing there. Sounds like a contradiction. There's nothing there. It is a place where we realize that Tawheed has been established in the heart of man, that God is not in His creation. He doesn't live on earth as a man. He doesn't have the needs and the wants and the desires of a human being. When we look at the Kaaba, we understand that it was the place that mankind was given the command to establish Tawheed, and they had lost it for so many years, and now it had come back into the same spot where it would be established this time. And now the accusation that Christians say that there was an idol inside the Kaaba, and this idol was named Allah. So what? What does that prove? Because there's no evidence for such a statement. I mean, they named every other god and put it in there. There would have been Baal. For sure there would have been a Baal in there, because it was a popular god at the time. So, if the true God was worshipped by true followers, it only stands to sense that somebody who distorted the facts of the true God would have had an idol by that name there. Just assuming. With no evidence for what we're saying. But that doesn't make it not true that there is one Allah. That just means somebody came along and changed it. Just like we find today, even though Islam is very, very clear, there is no doubt about this, that you are not allowed to go through any other medium other than Allah Himself. Still doesn't prevent Muslims from doing it. Still Muslims do it. Muslims are using other things, trying to add magic charms and good luck things to try and make their way to God and breaking their Tawheed. They still do it. So now you can't say the whole of Islam is bad because some of those people do that. No. It's a couple of misguided people. Just like there were a couple of misguided people that may have had an idol there. So that's not a proof or an evidence. What is important is that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and his early followers, those early holders to the truth, cleansed it. And they got rid of it. And they re-established Tawheed on planet Earth. The best news, the greatest news ever. The most important event in the history of mankind is when Tawheed was established at the Kaaba that day. We need to take a break. When we get back from the break, we'll continue, inshallah.
A friendly message by Dr. Zakir, mother of all evils.
According to the World Health Organization, every year, millions of people die due to the consumption of alcohol. My colleagues, the medical doctors, nowadays say that alcoholism is a disease. Therefore, we have to be sympathetic towards a sick alcoholic person. If alcoholism is indeed a disease, then it is the only disease that is sold in bottles. It is the only disease that is advertised in the newspapers, in the magazines, on radio broadcast stations, on television satellite channels. It is the only disease that has outlets licensed to legally spread it. It gets a revenue for the government. It is the only disease that causes violent deaths on the highways. It destroys family life and increases crime. It is the only disease that has no germs or viral cause. But our Creator, the Almighty, says in His last testament, the glorious Quran, in Surah Ma'idah, chapter number 5, verse number 90, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who believe, innamal khamru wal maisuru, most certainly intoxicants and gambling, wal ansabu wal azlam, dedication of stones, divination by arrows, rijthum min amali shaitan. These are an abomination of Satan's handiwork. Fashtanibuhu lallakum tuflihun. Abstain from such abomination that you may prosper. Alcoholism is not a disease. It is Satan's handiwork. Abstain from it that you may prosper.
Peace TV, the solution for humanity.
Muhammad Pearls of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Abu Huraira, may Allah be pleased with him, reported Allah's messenger, may peace be upon him, as saying, the most excellent fast after Ramadan is God's month, Al-Muharram, and the most excellent prayer after what is prescribed is prayer during the night. Sahih Muslim, Volume 2, Book of Fasting, Hadith number 2611.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم.
A light from Allah in the darkness.
له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه.
A guide from Allah in the confusion.
يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء.
A cure from Allah for every sickness.
وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يئوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم.
The Quran. Join me, Muhammad Timham, as we study the beautiful passages of the Quran and the great lessons that they contain in Lessons from the Quran.
Study about the glorious lessons that connect us to our Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in Lessons from the Quran. Next on Peace TV.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So we're talking about the Kaaba and what happened there. When we go around the Kaaba, we re-establish on this planet Tawheed. There is nothing to worship in the Kaaba or at the Kaaba. The only benefit of this wonderful structure is for us to focus our attention. And this is the miracle of miracles for me as well. When we look at what happens when Muslims pray. If this is the Kaaba, there is Africa, there is India, there is America, there is wherever, all the different countries in the world, all facing to one point. And you can imagine that over here in Mumbai, they're calling to pray. And as they get to the second line in the call, Kolkata starts calling. And when they finish, we find China starts. And when they finish, we find the next one starts. So the whole way around the world, continuously, there's this ripple effect of calling to submission all the time. Somebody in some state of prayer, somewhere, all the way facing to this one point. It's a spiritual wave going the whole way around the world. How we are submitting to God. Somewhere in the world, no matter how far away we move from wanting to submit to God, there are still some faithfuls, the remnants of truthfulness. We are establishing Tawheed even to this day. So the Kaaba is not a place of idol worship. It's a place of destruction of idol worship. The accusations that are made against it are unfounded. Some of the Christians will say, well, listen, if the Kaaba is like you say, and there's nothing there, and you guys are not worshipping it, they believe that we're lying now, that we're talking nonsense. They say, if this is true, then let us come there. Let us come into the Kaaba and have a look. Let us come on Hajj and see what actually goes on. Record, see what's going on there. If we had to ask, would you let us into the Vatican vaults? Can we go to the Vatican City? I'd like to see what's in the vaults you have there. I would like to find those lost gospels that you won't let the rest of the world see. What do you think the chances are they'll let me in? What do you think the chances are they'll let Dr. Zakir Naik or Bilal Phillips. Not a chance. We can plead and we can request and we can fill in all the visas we like. They will never let us into the vaults of the Vatican City. If we went to the Jewish School of Historical Studies, where they study all the ancient manuscripts that they found, they haven't released yet to the rest of the world, and we as Muslims said, could we see these? They wouldn't give it to us, no matter what we gave them. Because they have rules and regulations that they have in place. Anyone is welcome to go to the Kaaba that wants to, whether you be a Christian, a Jew, a Hindu, or Buddhist. As long as you take the Shahada. As long as you say, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, you're welcome to come in. Just like when I came to India, I had to go to the Indian embassy. I had to request and fill in a form. I had to sign a document. I had to give them photos. I had to give them fingerprints. I had to give them who I was going to stay with, why I'm going to stay there. And then they gave me a visa for a very, very short period of time. Couldn't stay there forever. Can't stay in India forever. I needed to go out. I had to adhere to the rules. When I went to America, I had to adhere to the rules. I had to make a declaration. I had to make a promise. When I went into America, written there, as you walk in, as you get to the visa control, it says the declaration or the constitution of a visitor. And the constitution of a visitor says, I pledge allegiance to not do this, to do this, to obey that. Whole list. America. India does the same. All countries do that. It's called the Pledge of Allegiance for a visitor to a country. Other than your visa, visa is one side. But there's another part of it, which is your Pledge of Allegiance. So if you want to come to Saudi Arabia, you want to go to the Kaaba, you need to do the same thing. You need to go to the embassy, apply for your visa, pay for the visa, give your photos, go for the interviews. And then when you get to the airport, you need to pledge your allegiance. Just like I have to do when I go to America or any other country in the world. If you do that, you're welcome to go to the Kaaba. That's the only thing that's stopping you. Visa, Pledge of Allegiance. And our Pledge of Allegiance is La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. So it's very simple. You can go and check it out yourself. One of the things that you will find when you get there is that there is just a simple brick building. There's no supernatural things happening there. The supernatural thing that happens at the Kaaba is that people realize that Tawheed was established. That's the supernatural thing. And the supernatural thing is that you change. You walk away transformed. If you went with the right intention. If you went there as a tourist for a holiday, or you went there to keep your family happy, or you went there because you were forced by your parents, then nothing will happen. And you'll come back probably worse than when you went. But if you went there with the right intention, and you go there to seek truth, and you go there to transform yourself, you'll come back better or the same, not worse. One of the scariest things, one of the most scariest things that I was worried about when I came back is that I would be the same or worse after coming back. Why was I scared of being worse or the same? Because when you go on Hajj, there is somebody who is very, very upset. And it's not the enemies of Islam, by the way. It's not the people who are not Muslims. It's Shaitan. Why is he upset? Anybody have an idea why he's so upset? Pass the microphone to the back.
Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh.
Alaikum salam.
It is because when a Muslim goes for Hajj, after he's done with his Hajj, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives all his sins and he's purified and rejuvenated. It's like a newborn baby. So I think Shaitan dislikes that very much.
So can you imagine, when you go on Hajj, if your intention is right, this is if you have gone with the right intention. If you're just going there to up, down, kiss the ground, I just want to do the tourist thing and get it over with, it's worth nothing. If you didn't perform your Hajj correctly, nothing happened. You just wasted a few days. If you went there and you followed what you're supposed to do without any innovations, without adding things that you're not supposed to do, then it will be accepted from you and there will be a transformation in your life because you are forgiven all your wrong deeds and you stand clean. What do you think Shaitan's going to do when you leave? He is going to do his most to make sure that he catches up with what you've lost out on. He's going to say, this is unfair, and he's going to do everything he can to attack you to make sure that you get all those bad deeds back on again as fast as possible. That's why on a Hajj it is so difficult. This is why you battle and battle and battle and battle. Hajj is no walk in the park. It is tough. You have to concentrate and you go, I'm not listening to anybody, I'm not going to talk to anybody, because what happens? When you go on Hajj, everybody's a mufti. Isn't it? Those of you and me on Hajj will know what I'm talking about. If you're supposed to go and pelt the pillars, what do people say? Oh no, it's literally the devil you pelting. Another one says, no, it's not. Another one says, yes, you must take 50 stones. This one says 72 stones. This one says 7 stones. This one says you must do it 5 times. This one says you must do it 3 times. Everybody's a mufti. This is why before you go on Hajj, you need to find out from the people who know how to do the Hajj properly. Contact the Saudi embassy where you live. Ask them for a disc, a DVD. You don't even have to read a book. It's in your language. It's available in your language. I'll give it to you for free. How to do your Hajj correctly, without innovation, without all the added extra masala and spices on the side. And if you do it, then your Hajj will be accepted. And then when it is accepted, what happens? Shaitan is very upset. And so the whole way through Hajj, you'll find hundreds of distractions. There's no protection from being distracted. Shaitan is doing everything he can. If he gets this right, he's going to get his sins removed. I'm going to do everything I can. I will send his best friend. I will send a scholar. I will send anyone to distract him from doing what he's supposed to be doing. That's why you need to prepare before you go on Hajj. When you go on Hajj, you go, la, 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 I don't want to hear, I don't want to hear. You don't listen to anybody. If you don't know before you went, it's too late to figure it out on the way. You need to have got the DVD, you need to have got the book, you need to have studied it before you go. When you get there, Shaitan is going to use every single tool that he's ever had in his toolbox to distract you from doing at least one of the things right. He'll distract you with everything if possible. But he's going to try and at least get you to fail on one so that nothing is accepted from your Hajj. So make sure you follow it to the letter. You haven't got time to go do sightseeing, visit libraries that are not part of the Hajj, go do shopping. You do what is required for your Umrah and your Hajj. Get it done properly. Then, once that is done, the battle is not over. Because when you come back, he is going to attack you even more. Because now he needs to get his account back up again. So do not expect that when you come back from Hajj, sometimes we expect to be little saints after we come back from Hajj. We think we're going to be perfect, everything's going to be great. It's not like that. Everything becomes a mission. It becomes difficult to wake up for Fajr. It becomes difficult to pray 5 times a day. It becomes difficult to eat properly. Everything becomes a problem because he's hammering you, trying to pull you down. So this is where you have to have a team of people that are protecting you, praying with you, helping you, guiding you, directing you. So don't just think because you come back on Hajj like, oh, look at that brother, you can see he's on Hajj, he's full of nur. That's not nur, that's pride. So make sure that you come back and you submit to Allah even more than you ever did before. This is the time to cry and beg. You've got those extra days are given there for a reason. Those days after Hajj are being given to you for a reason. Because then Allah knew that this is going to be the toughest month lying ahead of you. So get the most out of your Hajj. And remember that the Kaaba, when we explain it to people, explain all these things so they have an understanding that it's not an idol, that there's no, things inside there that we're praying to. That we're praying to Allah, not to the brickwork. That's all the time we have for this week, so make sure you join us again, same place, same time. So from me, Areeb Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.